Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Movesets video. Today's video is going to be all about Scrafty, so let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Scrafty is a dark fighting type Pokemon introduced in Generation 5 that has access to 3 really great abilities for competitive play, with the first one being Shed Skin, which gives this Pokemon a chance to remove any status it is currently inflicted with at the end of the turn. The second being Moxie, which allows it to boost its physical attack stat by 1 stage when it KOs an opponent's Pokemon, and the third being Intimidate, which allows this Pokemon to lower the attack stat of an opponent's Pokemon when it switches into battle. As for its stats, this Pokemon has some pretty great all-around stats, while defensively possessing a base 65 HP stat, which is fairly low, but a base 115 physical defense and base 115 special defense, which does allow this Pokemon to take hits extremely well, especially when you think about the fact that it has access to Intimidate to lower your opponent's physical attack, and also Shed Skin, which can allow this Pokemon to last for a long time on a more defensive set, because it doesn't have to really worry about status that much. Offensively though, this Pokemon has a pretty great base 90 physical attack stat, as well as a fairly low base 45 special attack stat, and a decently low base 58 speed stat. So you do have to keep in mind that this Pokemon is going to be fairly slow unless you're running it on a more offensive boosting set, as this Pokemon has access to both Dragon Dance and Bulk Up, and also keep in mind that while being able to dish out damage if you're able to be given the opportunity to boost it up, you will also be able to take hits really well on both offensive and defensive sets because of its great base defense stats. And with all of this combined, this Pokemon currently finds itself in the NU tier. So with that, let's take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, we're going to start by running Scrafty as a defensive utility Pokemon. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Jolly Nature to boost its speed but lower its special attack, and going either with the Intimidate ability to lower your opponent's physical attack stat, or the Shed Skin ability to allow this Pokemon to remove any statuses it might be inflicted with. As for the EVs though, we're going to max out its HP with 252 EVs into that, put 144 into its special defense to give it a significant investment into that stat, and then also put 112 EVs into its speed stat to give this Pokemon a significant investment into its speed, which will allow it to outspeed base 80 speed Pokemon it normally would not be able to outspeed. And for the item on the set, we're going to go ahead and run Leftovers to allow this Pokemon to recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn, or run a Chesto Berry to be used in combination with Rest on the set if you want to go with the Intimidate variant over the Shed Skin one. But for the moves, the first one on the set that we're going to be going with is going to be Taunt, to allow this Pokemon to prevent its opponents from using any non-attacking moves, which is one of the main reasons why we're running so much speed on the set, because it'll allow this Pokemon to be able to taunt many opposing attackers more than normal if it hadn't run any speed investment. And this is great for either shutting down opposing walls, making it so that they can't use any of their status moves or recovery moves, and also great for preventing hazards from being set up on the battlefield. As for your next attack, we're going to be going with Drain Punch to be your main stab fighting type move, which also has the benefit of increasing your health when you damage your opponent, as you leech some of that HP that you deal to them, which can be great for allowing this Pokemon to survive quite a bit longer in battle. And then we're also going to go ahead and run Knockoff, as it's one of the best moves in the game. We'll get Stabbed for Scrafty being a dark type, and we'll also remove your opponent's item. Finally, for the last move on the set, we can either run Super Fang as a really nice reliable way to just remove 50% of your opponent's health, which can be great on a set like this, as it's more supportive and isn't running a ton of attack investment, but we could also run Rest for more survivability, either to be used with Shed Skin or to be used with the Chesto Berry. And finally, we could also run Fake Out on the set as well, to allow this Pokemon to just have a little bit of priority, possibly giving it a little bit of revenge killing capabilities if you're up against an opponent with a fairly low range of HP left in their health. But if you would like to, any of these 3 last moves could also be substituted for another attack on the set, as this Pokemon just gets a lot of really great utility when using a defensive set like this one. As for this next moveset, we're going to be running Scrafty in a way that seeks to maximize its bulk while also maximizing its offensive capabilities. So we're going to start this one off by again giving it a Jolly Nature to boost its speed but lower its special attack, and going either again with the Intimidate or Shed Skin abilities, but this time running an EV spread of 252 attack EVs to maximize its physical attack, 4 special defense, and 252 speed EVs to also max out its speed stat. And for the item on the set, we're going to go ahead and go with an Assault Vest to boost this Pokemon's special defense, allowing it to take hits extremely well from opposing special attackers, and also, if running the Intimidate ability, allow it to take hits very well from physical attackers as well, which essentially allows this Pokemon to be able to be switched in on a variety of types of attackers on your opponent's team, and not really have to worry about taking too much damage. However, Shed Skin is still an extremely useful ability for a set like this as well, so please do consider that. But for the moves, the first one that we're going to go with on the set is either going to be Fake Out for the priority that it provides, or Super Fang for the fact that it will allow you to remove 50% of your opponent's current HP stat. And this move in particular is very good on this Pokemon because it's a Dark type, and the only thing that's immune to Super Fang are Ghost type Pokemon. So this is particularly good because it can just allow you to take away a huge chunk of your opponent's HP for free. But with this, we're going to be running either Drain Punch or High Jump Kick as our main stab fighting type move. Drain Punch being the more defensive option because it will recover health when you do damage, but High Jump Kick just being the outright more offensive option because it's almost double the power of Drain Punch. Then we're going to go ahead and run Knock Off, again for the utility of being able to remove your opponent's item, while also being a pretty powerful Dark type attack. And then for the last move, running either Poison Jab or Ice Punch for some additional type coverage. Poison Jab being particularly useful against opposing Fairy types that would seek to damage this Pokemon for a 4 times super effective Fairy type attack, whereas Ice Punch just gives you some really fantastic neutral coverage in combination with Knock Off and your fighting type attack. Moving on to the third moveset of this video, we're going to go ahead and run a bulk up set for this Pokemon to allow it to be very tanky and also very powerful. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Careful Nature to increase its special defense but lower its special attack, and run with the Shed Skin ability this time. And for the EVs, put 252 into its HP, 232 into its special defense, and 24 EVs into its speed stat to give it a significant investment into its special bulk, while also giving it enough speed to outspeed base 60 speed Pokemon it falls just short of outspeeding. And for the item on the set, we're going to go ahead and run Leftovers to allow it to recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn. But for the moves on this set, the first thing that we're going to go ahead and run is going to be Bulk Up to allow this Pokemon to increase its physical defense and also its physical attack by 1 stage to make it significantly more physically bulky and more offensively powerful, and allow it to deal a lot of damage with the physical attacks we're going to be using on this set. The first of which being Drain Punch, which is again a powerful fighting move that will be recovering some health when you damage your opponents. Then for the second and third attack that we're going to be running, we're going to run some combination of either Knock Off, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, or Rest. And it really depends on the type coverage that you want with this Pokemon and really what you want it to be able to do in terms of being able to outlast your opponents or just be able to deal with as many possible foes that you might be matched up against. Knock Off being a great Dark type option, Ice Punch being a great coverage option, Poison Jab being good against Fairy types, and also Rest being a great recovery option when you think about using it in combination with Shed Skin, because this will allow you to recover all of your health, and then at the end of the turn you use Rest, have a chance to immediately be cured of your sleep status, which is absolutely amazing for a set like this one. So depending on the coverage that you use, or whether or not you want to be more tanky when using Rest, this set definitely gets the job done and allows Scrafty to be a very powerful and potent physical attacker with boosted defensive stats. Finally, for the last moveset of this video, I'm going to be showing off one of Scrafty's best sweeping sets, which is going to be making use of Dragon Dance. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Jolly Nature to boost its speed but lower its special attack, going either with the Moxie or the Shed Skin ability this time, and for the EVs putting 252 into its physical attack, 4 into its special defense, and 252 EVs into its speed stat to max out its physical attack and speed. And as for the item on the set, we could either go with a Life Orb to increase the damage of all of your attacks at the cost of losing 10% of your health every time you damage your opponent, Leftovers to allow this Pokemon to recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn, a Z Crystal to correspond to one of the attacks on this set to give you a one-time super powerful move of that type, or a Lumberry to be used to allow this Pokemon to recover any status it has been inflicted with, if going with the Moxie variant, because with Shed Skin you don't really have to worry about status. As to the moves though, our first boosting move of choice on the set is going to be Dragon Dance, to allow this Pokemon to boost its physical attack and its speed stat by 1 stage, making it faster and more powerful on the battlefield. Then for our main stab fighting move, again Drain Punch and High Jump Kick are options here, either for the recovery or the greater power of High Jump Kick. And then we're going to go ahead and run either Knock Off or Ice Punch in our third move slot, and either Ice Punch or Poison Jab in our fourth move slot if we want to run this with as many coverage options as possible, or go with Substitute on the set to allow this Pokemon to get behind a protective barrier to shield it from attacks and statuses while it attempts to set up. And because this Pokemon is so bulky naturally, Substitute is just an amazing move because it will naturally be very difficult to break unless your opponent has a powerful attack to do so because of your great defensive stats that you naturally have. And this set in and of itself is one of the best boosting sets for this Pokemon, and just an absolutely fantastic boosting set in general for any team that you want to be running a boosting Pokemon on. But do keep in mind that when using this in the NU tier, that Whimsicott, a fairly common Pokemon, will still outspeed you after one Dragon Dance. So please be sure to try to be careful of that when using this particular moveset. But overall, this is just one of my favorite Scrafty sets and really gets the job done to clean up late game and allow it to sweep teams with ease. So with that, everybody, that is it for this video on Scrafty. So thank you all for watching, and as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.